There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. I see with new eyes, allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Breathe in and out, slowly feel all that's around you, all that you feel, all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite, yeah, when we unite, oh, we unite, yeah, yeah, when we unite, yeah, yeah. You are welcome here. Love is welcome here. Peace is welcome here. You are welcome here.
Yes, you are welcome here. Welcome to the House of Love. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and good day to you wherever you are. Happy New Year to you. And of course, every day is an opportunity to be new, to be great, to do something different. And it's always good to have the new year to help us, support us. Let me just make sure my sound on Facebook and yes, we're good with sound. Okay, just need to make sure. It's always good to know that every day, every moment we can make ourselves new. We can change, we can be different. Thank you for tuning in. You're tuning in to yourself first and then tuning in to, I went back in time. In my mind, I was going to say Life Conversations Radio. For tuning into yourself and listening. And then when you tune in, you give yourself permission to listen and be transformed. I am Ade, your transformational beingness artist. Welcome to another episode of Ade Presents Being You, the podcast. It is the journey back to yourself, back to you, back to reality. Let's turn this off. It's a little bit on the cold side, but I'm going to have to freeze. Well, I won't freeze, it's just a little bit cold. And I invite you to welcome yourself, ground yourself with the affirmation, I am present, I am here, I am now. I am present, I am here, I am now. I am present. I am here. I am now. This is season 4, episode 1, Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. I knew that. It's the beginning of a new season, and today we are daring to believe, to go beyond, to trust the unknown, to trust the invisible, to allow ourselves to stretch beyond what we thought was possible, beyond what we've imagined possible. And on Being You, the podcast is an invitation. It's an invitation to be you, an invitation for you to be you, to show up however life is showing up in your world. And it's good to see you. Nice to see you, Yoli, on Instagram at the Life Coach Ade account, and Ashley on the Being You podcast account. And of course, those of you on YouTube and Facebook. Marion, nice to see you. Shalafiani, Happy New Year. Kwali, Happy New Year to you. And Jackie's in the house. New Jace, thank you. And then there are the silent listeners, those of you who listen, who watch, but don't make yourself known. I see you. Because when I look at myself, I see you, because there's only one of us here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for just being here, for being part of this conversation, for the emails that you send and the impact that the show is having on you. And for those of you who are donating money, contributing, saying, yes, thank you for the work you do. I appreciate you. Being used an opportunity for you to ask yourself, how do I see myself? How do you see yourself today? How do you see yourself now? We're in the new year, but how do you really see yourself? Not from an intellectual perspective, not the ego perspective. When you really just take a deep breath, how do I see myself? Right now, I'm feeling peaceful. Right now, I'm feeling excited, curious. Now, you may feel the same or something different. You may be feeling anxious. There's nothing wrong with being anxious. Anxiety, there's nothing wrong with any emotions that we're experiencing. It becomes wrong. It becomes negative. It becomes bad when we judge it. You know, every emotion that come up is trying to tell us something. And, you know, we may need to do some work around it. We may need coaching. We may need therapy. We may need to pray. We may need to take actions. We may need to read a book, even if it's an audio book. You may need to go talk to your preacher, your teacher, whoever. You may need to go in the forest and scream. But it's all about paying attention to what is coming up. And when you do, you find that what was once scary is actually trying to deliver a message. When you take moments to really listen to yourself and ask yourself, how do I see myself? You can see, how do I see the world? When you really take a good look at the world, at yourself, you get to see the world differently, because what you're looking at, you're looking with. This is also an opportunity for you to say, how do you see yourself in the world? How am I showing up? Am I adding value? Do I feel confident or not? Am I receiving? Am I giving? Am I taking? Am I being myself? Am I being me? And when you're not, am I being forgiven? When you're not being yourself the way you see yourself or think you should be, are you forgiven? Are you being compassionate? And then how do you see the world that you're looking at in you? There is no separation. It looks like it, but there isn't. We invite you, I invite you, and we invite you, because there are other people in the house. You may not see them, There are people listening with you, your ancestors, your guides. They're all there listening. So we invite you to join us on the main Facebook page, which is facebook.com, Being You Podcast, for an interactive experience for the most part. There was a time when I had a producer. I don't have a producer. That's going to change hopefully real soon, because it helps me to move through these things. But I got to do it myself. I'm not complaining because I have what it takes. Baptiste, it's nice to see you. Jean Baptiste. How are you doing, my brother? So yes, inviting you to share the show. Join us. And some of you on YouTube, that's a good place to be. And those of you on Instagram, ones I'm seeing now, you already know how it works. You're going to hear FD, but you won't see her. But if you want to see her, you can go to YouTube or Facebook. And if you need that link, let me know. What else I want to share with you? Yes, I was talking about, while I'm here, those of you who have donated, if you're feeling like, yes, I want a gift, I want to do a energy exchange, my Cash App is £, that's a UK currency, £, Life Coach Ade. And if you want to do PayPal, it is paypal.me/Ade Anifowose. Anifowose is ANIFOWOSE. And if you don't write fast enough, just check the thing later. Okay? Or just email me. Venmo, what is Venmo? I don't remember what Venmo is. Is it Life Coach Ade? I think it is. Or my name. I think it's Life Coach, but I don't remember. I don't have it here. Anywho, what else do I need to tell you? I need to tell you about. Ooh, wait. Pay attention. Don't start. Let me calm myself. Now I get excited. Jean-Baptiste. Yes. He said, we're with you. Where in Africa are you? It's not Congo, is it? Let me know. And what time is it in Congo right now? So I have a special event coming up. Well, first of all, I need to let you know I'm back to weekly every week, which I'm excited about. Because I can do it. It's funny. Just so much is happening right now, and it's really helping me stay focused. But I'm back every week. I'm lining up guests. So, hey, just come and enjoy some great conversations that's going to expand your consciousness, open your heart, and allow you to see differently so you can hear the inaudible and know that you're part of something greater. The other announcement I want to tell you is I have a creative transformational experience, a group coaching that's happening in February. Now, right now I'm advertising it, and I have actually extended it. It was supposed to end, I don't know, about a week ago or so. I've extended till the 14th for registration. You can go to bit.ly/yes to my dream. Yes, the number 2, my dream. Go there, check it out, register, reserve your space. Right now it is $350 for US and it's $250 for UK residents. So after that's going to go up. What is it about? I guess you're asking. Well, if you click the link, you'll find out. But I'll tell you. So you want to bring a dream. Now, some people may want to bring 2 or 3. Because what I'm going to share with you, what we're going to do together, will help you to embody the vibration of the dream. Sometimes we have a dream, and it's often based on what we think will make us be happy, what we think we need, and sometimes it's on point. But there's something more powerful when you can tap into the vibration of your soul and ask what your soul wants to see happen as the dream. So the influence, if you will, the powering is coming from within. So it's not something that you start on the 1st of January and by February you're like, oh yeah, I know. It's just hard to. No, you're going to tap into the vibration of the dream. Your soul is going to deliver the message, and it will continually fuel you, so much so that you will remember. And even when you feel like you can't get it done or don't think it's going to get done, the fact that you've aligned, or if you feel misaligned, you can always connect to it. So for 28 days, we'll meet once a week on Zoom, and we're going to have a private group. You get to share your wins, your challenges on there, and there are many other things. So go check it out, bit.ly/yes to my dream. If it's not for you, share with somebody who you think can use it. It's all about sharing. It's all about growing together. What else do I want to tell you? I want to tell you about Libsyn.com, which you already know. Well, regular listeners, you guys listen all the time. Libsyn.com is a podcast hosting site where you can host your podcast. Maybe you have a podcast already, thinking of hosting a podcast, want to check it out. If you do sign up with them, Libsyn.com, Libsyn. If you do sign up with them, make sure you use my promo code. Promo code is ADE. When you use that, you get a month free. You're guaranteed to get one whole month free. But depending on when you sign up, will determine if you get more than that. If you sign up today is the 4th. You will get the whole of January free and the whole of February. Check it out. See what they have to offer. I've been with them for 3 years, probably going over that now, and I'm grateful to be with them. And I also recommend it for my clients who I edit or produce their podcast. Wednesday night, if you're in America, Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and on Thursday morning, which is 2 a.m. UK, join myself and Ricky Byers for Soul Fulfilling, another place where we gather to recharge, to reboot, and remember that we are truly one with the one. If you've never been there before, you want to check it out. If you've been there before, just come on back. That's every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, now 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and 2 a.m. Thursday morning at 2 a.m. I said that, right? Rev D will be joining us in about 10 minutes ish. That's what I was going to say. Let me make sure I got everything I want to say to you here. I got that out the way, back on a weekly basis, and we're growing. We are expanding. What are you creating in your world? What are you doing? Are you daring yourself to believe? Do you want to know more about that? You have to wait. I'm excited about it. So for me, let me tell you what I've been going through and growing through. And I've really rolled into this year. Actually, well, of course, with a new sense of myself. And it didn't happen on January 1st. Those of you who've been listening to me and watch my live, you already know. And one thing that I'm grateful for, I'm telling you, when you know why you're doing what you're doing, when you understand what you're doing and why you're doing it and how important it is, and you commit to making it a reality, nothing can stop you. The things that used to bother you, the things that you thought you could never learn or understand, becomes very easy. I am working on my business plan, and oh my God, I am so excited. I'm telling you, I am so excited about working on it because it helps me get clear on some things. I don't have my bracelet, so I feel naked. I just had a thought, should I get up and get it? It's like over there, but I'm not going to do that. It's not that deep, but my mind is like, where's your bracelet? I'm not going to do that. But when you get clear, and that's what a business plan does, whatever you're doing, it's simply a plan, right? But if you have a business, you have a plan. You know what you're doing. You know what you're trying to communicate. And I don't know who this person is, but they're going to get blocked. Because if you're going to... when you're clear about what you're doing, you don't sweat the small stuff. So anyway, with my business plan, you see how I caught myself there? I was going into one. It's just helped me create the months to come in different programs, and what I'm doing is putting a stronger foundation. It's like my business is taking another level. I don't know if it's second, third, fifth floor. I don't know. Yeah, fifth floor. Anybody remember Martin? Electra, it's nice to see you. Thank you. Yeah, I'll check the message later. But just excited about cash flow forecast. Things I'm like, get clear about why you're doing what you're doing. Do whatever you need to do to make it a reality. Because the truth is, You are the one God is waiting for. You are the one the divine is waiting for. Oftentimes, we're praying and waiting for God to make some things happen. God, the divine, Allah, Buddha, whatever name you want to call it, Jehovah, love, divine source, energy, being, deep awareness, divine intelligence. It really doesn't matter. But oftentimes we do this one-way relationship where we're just waiting for things to happen. Maybe the divine will grant me permission. No, but it's a relationship. It's a relationship. Think of, I'm guessing everybody's been in some kind of relationship, but imagine if you're in a romantic relationship, and actually it doesn't even matter, a romantic relationship or not. If you've had a pet, if you have a car, if you have a house, if you have a job, a platonic relationship, there are ways that you need to show up to keep that relationship alive. And if you don't, the connection might fray. So whatever's in your heart, whether there's a dream, whether there's a goal, whether there's a vision, it is important to develop a relationship with the divine. And the divine is right where you are. The divine is you. It is you. I'm going to read today's daily thoughts. Let's see. So Baptiste said here, self-belief is possible, but life can change you because of life. I know you know more. I guess more of it. Yeah, life does change us. Let me pull up daily thoughts before I forget, because I know I will if I start talking. Life does change us. And we can, let me say, I don't want to answer that flippantly. See, what I would say, my brother, is everything will change us. Things are always changing us. However, what you bring to the table influences the result, where you end up, your evolution, your transformation. If we're just going around like, I don't know what I'm here to do. Now, I have to say that. I have to say this. It's also different where you live in the world. Someone has said to me one time, well, you're saying, I can't remember what the statement was, but it's a universal statement, a spiritual statement that is true, no matter what, whether you believe it or not, wherever you live in the world. And she was like, well, I work with people somewhere in Africa. I don't want to say in Africa because I can't stand that. It gets on my nerves when people say, we went to Africa and then we went to Australia. You've heard me rant about that. I won't do it this time. Africa is not a country. Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Anyway, so she said, well, I work with people in a country in Africa, and how can they say that? How can they say whatever the statement was, kind of something like God is everywhere present, or God always has our back, or life is not a problem to solve, something along those lines. Wherever you are in the world, it is true. 2 + 2 = 4 wherever you are in the world. Now, you may not have a calculator. You may not have a book to write on. You may not have a pen, but 2 + 2 is 4. We all have a responsibility to one another. So yes, as we do the inner work, we get to call upon the best in us and to use it in the way that supports us where we live, wherever that is in the world. I want to read today's daily thoughts and want to make sure that I am present for Rev D. Okay, cool. So Rev D is going to be here in a minute. Yeah, so she's going to be here in about another 15 minutes. Okay. I'll let her know. Perfect. That's why I left that on. So today's daily thought, written by yours truly, published by Hillside International Truth Center. I wrote for the month of January. I used to write every other month. Now I write every 4 months, I think it is. I don't even know. I have to keep asking the editor, when am I due again? But I wrote for this month. Today's affirmation is, God is pleased with me. Oof. Take a breath with me. take a deep breath and allow yourself to listen differently. And if you're doing something, if you can, I invite you to just be still for a few minutes, maybe a minute or two, maybe 2 minutes. If you're driving, drive from a place of awareness. Be conscious, be aware, listen to the words that I'm speaking. If you're working and you're supposed to be on the computer and not be on social media, just put a smile on your face. So today's daily thoughts, Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. The affirmation is, God is pleased with me. God is not disturbed by the errors and mistakes of your past. I'm actually going to slow this down. And I might even maybe reread some of it. God is not disturbed by the errors and mistakes of your past. Just let that sink in for a minute. Especially if you're trying to fix yourself and keep thinking there's something wrong with you. God is not disturbed by it. God ain't tripping. God is like, whatever, I still love you. God rejoices every time you remember that God's love is redemptive. Take a moment to reflect on your journey. Invite as many experiences as you can. Do not concern yourself with whether they are good or bad experiences. Now, once you do that, I'm going to slow it down. Once you reflect on the past experiences, the ones that you may have judged, the ones that you might say, maybe you said, I shouldn't have done that. I'm really struggling to forgive myself for doing that. I knew better. Or maybe there were things that you just like grateful that you did. You listened to the voice of spirit. Just reflect what's happened in the last few months, the last year, the last 2 years, the last 3 years, your whole life. And now, particularly the places where you're challenged, I want you to quietly repeat to yourself, God is pleased with me. God is pleased with me. Let it marinate. Just think about things that you're struggling with right now, even if you can't go into the past, where you're feeling that you're not quite meeting the mark. You're struggling and you're feeling all sorts. God is pleased with you right now. Right now, not tomorrow, not in an hour from now, not after the show, not after I finish reading Daily Thoughts, or when you listen to Rev D because you know she's going to bring something powerful. God is pleased with you right now. The divine is pleased with you. Your higher self, that inner self, your spirit, your soul, the truth about you is pleased with you right now. This is the truth. God is pleased with you, and God will always be pleased with you. The nature of God is love. It corrects all errors, mistakes, and failures. Sit with that. And I say this affirmation for and with you. I am transformed by the renewing of my mind. I give myself permission to feel and accept the love of God with a new and refreshing attitude. I shift my consciousness and align with God's idea of itself as my life. I am pleased, and God is pleased. Thank you, faith in me, through me, as me, around me, through the Christ within. And so it is. The scripture is, and the voice came from heaven. You are my beloved son, and I am pleased with you. That's from the Aramaic Bible version. You are the beloved daughter, and God is pleased with you. We're all one with the one. God is everywhere evenly present. No matter what you've been told, whether it's true, well, particularly if it's not so true. Who gets to decide if it's true or not? You get to decide if it's not so true. But you will know truth. You will know what is true by the way it feels in your body. If it's not true, something in you will tell you, nah, that's not the way it is. If it's true and it makes you uncomfortable, something in your body will tell you and remind you like, yep, it's true. You just have to ease your way into it. You got to ease on down the road. You got to lean into it. It is fascinating that we're so close. We're so one. That's right. We're so one with the one, but it doesn't always feel like it. Doesn't feel like it because we think being one with God needs to feel like something else. We believe that the success that we want looks different from where we are. And we even go as far as saying the success looks like having a certain amount of money in the bank, different kind of material, whatever that is. You know, the house that you live in. Yes, those things, yeah, they reflect the success. But the truth is the success is right here, right now. You are already successful. You are already successful. So the things that you're doing, the group coaching that I'm doing in February is an opportunity to express, to birth the success, to birth the dream that is waiting for you to come true. You're not waiting for your dream to come true. If you're waiting for your dream to come true, you're just going to keep waiting. And if it does happen to show up because you were waiting for it, you might be waiting that you might not last. You may be worried and thinking the other shoe's going to drop. But when you come true and allow your dreams to come through, oh boy. Ooh. When the dreams come through you, oh yeah, you can't even stop the momentum. You want to create the space for momentum to flow through you, to show up. You know, everything you want, you need, you desire, it's already available to you. And the truth is, if you can catch it in consciousness, if you can think about it, it is available. If you have a dream that is so big, if you have a vision that makes you go, oh my God, I don't know if I can do that. If you can conceive it, not only can you achieve it, but the fact that you can see it, that you can feel it, it's letting you know that you have what it takes. If you didn't have what it takes, you wouldn't have access to it. Your access to it is confirmation that you are it, to let it out. Dare to believe that you're so much more. Dare to believe in your immune system. Dare to believe that there's so much in this world that we don't always talk about. Dare to believe in the power of God that is in you, that is you. Dare to believe that you can do whatever you need to do to bring you peace. And you don't have to fight anybody else to do what you think they need to do. Trust in the power of your creative genius. Trust in the power of your body that's loaded with memories. When we see children walking, well, a baby start walking, we're like, oh my God, they're walking. Yes. And we can say it's because we help them. True. But there's an intelligence inside the baby that knows that when it is time, it's going to walk. There's an intelligence inside of you. There's an intelligence inside of you that knows, that nudges, that calls you up and out and reminds you, you are my beloved son. You are my beloved daughter in whom I am well pleased. In whom I am well pleased. We got to turn down the distractions. We are living in interesting times, unprecedented times where, oh my God, some of the things that's happening, we can't even explain it, but it's a time to really come back to yourself and milk what you know about truth. I don't really care how you see God. Whatever works for you, work it. But whatever you believe about that divine intelligence, that force that is within you, that breath of life that is breathing you, if it's just one thing that you know, milk it, use it. And understand me when I say this. It's a community, it's a relationship, not just with it. You can say he if you want with God, you can say she, I say it. Because it is beyond, oh my God, it is beyond, oh my God, for real. Understand that you are part of a community, a global consciousness. We often say in the spiritual community, you hear people say it, teachers say it, speakers say it. They say, You have everything you need inside of you to achieve, to do this. And if that statement filters through a colonized mind, you might be fooled or distracted to believe you can't ask for help because you have everything within you. So you don't want to ask for help. You don't want people to know that you're struggling. You don't want people to know that on an emotional level, spiritual level, you're dying. The colonized mind, it's kind of analytical. It's like this, and there's that. This is good, this is bad. You do this, and that happens. You can do it all by yourself. You're a self-made millionaire. Go sit your self-made millionaire behind some. Just stop. Anyway, I digress. A seed has everything it needs to grow, to become a tree, an oak tree, an orchard, fruits. It keeps giving more of itself. But I'm telling you, that seed by itself, even though it has everything it needs, might need to wait a little bit longer before it can grow. Because when the seed joins with the soil, when it joins with the sunlight, when it joins with the air, when it joins with the animals that pick it up, eat it, and poop it, and gets moved somewhere else, then the seed itself can be so much more, because it's now in relationship. You have everything you need to grow, develop, and transform. Make sure you don't let your brothers and sisters let that. How do I want to say it? I'm feeling so much and I have words for. Don't isolate yourself. I guess the bottom line. Reach out. In the Western world, it's all about doing it yourself. It's BS. It's BS. Even those that keep saying you got to do it for yourself. You got to pick yourself up by your bootstrap. They're not even doing that. They got people tying their bootstrap while they're telling you that. Somebody under the table trying their bootstraps for them. Putting makeup on it. They're telling you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Okay. Whew. Thank God for God. Baptiste said, thanks for the solution. You're welcome, my brother. You are very welcome. Baptiste, I would like you to share. Well, that's not the one I wanted to share, but I would like you to share what you do. If I'm correct, you actually work on wheelchairs for people in your country, right? And where are you? Is it in Congo? I think it's Congo. And you repair it, and people who didn't have wheelchairs can now, because of your gift, your talent, you recognizing that you have everything inside of you, support others and be more and moving around. Brother Naeem Akbar is in the house. Brother Naeem Akbar said, I don't know if I'm outing you. You've never told me not to say it, but I just leave it as that. But I'm going to read your comment now. Said, Namaskar, Brother Ade. I am so delighted that your very readable, applicable, and inspirational entries are in Daily Thoughts this month. Thank you. That means a lot. I've said it so many times. That means a lot. When I write Daily Thoughts, when I started writing Daily Thoughts, hey, Susie. Yes, Charlie, the creator is well pleased. When I write Daily Thoughts, I'm often writing Daily Thoughts from a place where, when I started, which is probably about 6-7 years ago, I was very clear that I want people to pick it up and say, oh my God, I was just praying about this. Oh, this is the answered prayer. That's my intention every time I write. I don't always say it anymore because I feel like I've embodied it. And also when I write, I don't want to just write about spiritual truth. I write from a place where people can apply it. Because for me, I don't care how deep a truth is. If I go, damn, that's deep, and then I can apply it, damn, what's up with that? It needs to be applied. And so for me, I come from a place where if God is all powerful, all knowing, everywhere evenly present, even when I can't forgive myself, the love of God that is me is forgiving me. I just need to make a choice. Someone made a comment under today's Daily Thoughts. The affirmation is, God is pleased with me. And he said, yes, what I had to deal with was me being pleased with myself. And that's the thing. That's really, if I really think about it, that's the root. That's the place from which I write from. That the reader gets to see themselves as divine, as a spiritual being, pure spiritual being, as someone who has something to contribute, someone with gifts and talents. I don't care where you are in the world. I don't care what's going on inside of you. I don't care if you're depressed or you constantly have an anxiety or you can never figure it out or you've had businesses that failed, relationship you can't make work. I don't care if your father wasn't around or your mother wasn't around. I want the words that I write that comes through me to speak to you in a way that just makes you think again and choose again. For me, I think, or else, what's the point? There's too much that we use. We use the Bible, the Quran, spiritual truth, whether you're religious, whether you're spiritual. We use that to divide one another. And we're part of the global family. Well, no, it's a body that I call humanity. You can piss someone off, right? And they can end up be somebody that's going to serve you in the at McDonald's or in a restaurant, and they remember you like, oh, I remember that person. And they put some extra ingredients in it that's not supposed to be in there. I'm just going to say that. Lefty is always reminding us, your thoughts are not private, because someone is picking that thought up on some level. We're affected when people go crazy and do stupid things. When people do great things, we're affected by it too, directly or indirectly, and we owe it to one another. Yes, Pat, it is okay to ask for help. So true. I think Yolanda can't reach here. Oh, I guess I can reach this. You wrote something that I missed. You're welcome, Pat. I'm trying to see what else. I can't see it, but okay. Well, let me keep up. I got IG going at the same time. Rev D will be here real soon. That's not working for me. Let me see what else we got in here. Oh, here's something to talk about. Susie said, I've always had a hard time with the term colonization. I think we need to rise above a tree analogy. I'm not quite sure what you mean, but tell me what you mean. You have a hard time with it. I think a lot of us do, because colonization stripped people of their culture, of their identity. And say, we are superior, we'll take your stuff, and we're still going to benefit. Oh, don't get me started. And we're still going to benefit from taking your stuff, while we'll tell you that your country is poor. But come to our museum and look at the things that we keep in the museum that we really stole. But tell me what you mean. Casey, nice to see you. What do you mean that you have a hard time with it? What does that mean? It's what happens. I don't know what you mean by rise above. But yes, that's exactly what we're doing. We're moving beyond that. We're remembering that any kind of supremacy is not allowed in this joint. And I don't care how corrupt you are, your mind, what you've done in the past. There's a power, there's a presence within me. And I also understand those who colonize, and those who are thinking I'm better than you, they have a responsibility too. I'm going to raise my vibration so that they have no choice. One day in their sleep, something happens and they have a dream and they turn around. Now, the turning around may not happen while they're in the body, but they might have a conversation with somebody that then tells you what their father said, what their mother said. So yeah, if you want to say more about that, I don't know what you mean by having a hard time with colonization. Anyway. All right. When truth is being expressed, there's always the little flies and bugs that wants to distract from truth. But we ain't even worried about that. Guess what? I got backup. Rev D's in the house. I wasn't talking about you, Susie. If those of you on Facebook see what I'm talking about, we ain't gonna worry about that. But we're just gonna keep it moving. So, but we're gonna do this. There you go. Bye bye. Ashley said, asking for help is an invitation and a gift to the person being asked. So true. Susie said, being a white girl, I guess you're saying not part of my generation for sure. I don't know what you mean, but oh, you don't acknowledge your heritage. Well, I don't know what you mean by that, but you better, because you're connected to it. It is you. It is you. We're connected to those who came before us. And I want us now to connect with my beautiful mentor and friend and my midwife. And I want to tell you, for those who are listening for the first time who don't know about her, you want to check her out. She is the author of The Sacred Yes and Your Deepest Intent. And let me read some things from her bio. Reverend Deborah L. Johnson is a lifelong social justice activist with a passion for healing social, political, and cultural divides. She's known for her ability to bring clarity, civility, and humor to complex and emotionally charged issues. Wherever she goes, her message is oneness, inclusion, possibility, empowerment, and transformation. She is the founder of Inner Light Ministries, board members of Pachamama Alliance, and also founding member with Michael Bernard Beckwith of Agape International Spiritual Center. And as I said, she's the author of The Sacred Years and Your Deepest Intent. And today's theme was, I grabbed it from Your Deepest Intent. There's a chapter there called Dare to Believe. And that's what we're going to talk about. What does that mean when we dare to believe? Her website address is DeborahLJohnson.org. Deborah with an H, letter L, Johnson.org. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, psychics and skeptics, because we need all of those. We are one. Physical beings and non-physical beings, help me welcome my sister, my friend, my mentor, my midwife, myself. Hey, Rev D.
Hey there. How you doing?
I am wonderful. I have charged myself up. I can just let you do the show. I'm just going to sit down. Like, go ahead. You know what I'm going to ask you anyway.
Happy New Year to you and to everyone.
Happy New Year. Yes, indeed. So good to see you. So good to have you here.
For sure.
And you're bringing the New Year in by releasing Inner Lights, the Sanctuary. What is that like? A place that you've been, 25 years now?
We've been a ministry 25 years. We bought this place 18 years ago. Yeah.
How perfect.
Yeah.
18. 1 + 8 number equals 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's that time. It's bittersweet. I know it's the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. Even as we talk about colonization, just picking up on the last bit of that we're stewards of the land. We have 3.5 acres here, and there's better and higher usage for the land than even what we're doing. So there's a tremendous housing shortage around in the area, and we're releasing the land so that it can become a senior assisted living facility for 80 something beds, 3 stories, which will have a tremendous impact. Plus, Spirit is not about brick and mortar. It's about community and being where you are. The word church in the English language comes from the Greek word ecclesia, which literally just means the people. It just means like the spiritual community. And we're looking forward to some of the new and exciting ways that we can be in community. And believe it or not, COVID has helped spark some of that along. We've been in escrow for almost 6 years now, believe it or not,
Oh.
trying to get this thing closed and the project approved. But since COVID, our international base and the non-local aspect has really just skyrocketed. So we're looking forward to ways to level the playing field so that no matter where it is that you are, you can feel like you have full access and participation and contribution in spiritual community.
Whew, I have so many questions around that. But what? So the members, are you still meeting every Sunday, and or not?
So at the end of January is going to be our last services physically in this center. We will always have something that's available online on Sundays, a virtual experience. However, starting in March, we're actually going to let go of the traditional Sunday morning service and start moving into some of the more modern formats where we get together in the afternoon. And we're going to start with First Sundays where it's a big blowout. You know, bring your drums, dancing, food, you know, good music, conversation. There's a message, but a communal participatory experience as opposed to sitting in the pew and watching something. You are a part of the service.
I mean, speaking of, like I listen to you, I'm thinking this topic, dare to believe, and really believe that there could be something more than what been done for so many eons, and challenging oneself. And you definitely example of that, because dare to believe. And let's jump in. Let's continue this conversation. There's some places in your deepest intent that I feel like maybe read later. All of it is juicy, really. These letters, man. It's like, I want to read this part. I want to read this part. But the one that is really calling to me is be bold, dare to believe. Do you want me to read that first, or you want to kind of just talk about what it means and what you mean when it came through, when you got the download? Dare to believe.
Go for it, because that's an ongoing theme. And my latest messages, even within the last 30 days, are still saying that.
Really?
And continuously pushing me to dream even a bigger dream. So
do you turn around sometimes? Don't push so hard. It's like, wait, slow down. Wow.
I got to tell you a quick joke about that. Not a joke, it's a true story. So right before I moved to Santa Cruz, this must have been like in 1990, I was seeing a client, a practitioner client. And as she was leaving the door, she said to me with this deep Texas accent, she said, every now and then I can feel the hand of God coming in here on the small of my back. And I turn around and I say, don't push. She said, I just get to stepping a little faster. Don't push. She said, because when you have been pushed by God, you have truly been pushed.
Yes, indeed. And just what I know about you and the work that you do, I feel like God is constantly pushing and nudging you forward. It's like, oh my God. And I thank you. I thank you for the work that you do, because it supported me on my journey. It still supports me on my journey. So for those who have the book, Your Deepest Intent, mine is raggedy. It's not raggedy, just let you know it's used. I don't have it on the shelf.
Yeah,
and
it's volume 2.
Yes, volume 2.
Yeah.
This is Dare to Believe. It's page 125, I think it is. And I remember reading something from this book one time, and a friend of mine told me after the show, "You should always give the page." I'm like, "Yeah, that's true. I forgot." Dare to Believe, page 125, volume 2. And this is section 6. So this is the subsection is Be Bold, Dare to Believe.
Do
The
you want me to
promise.
read it?
Yeah, I thought of it. Yes, because you go into it. I just thought you were going to have me read it, so I came prepared to do it. But I really wanted you to read it. Because when Rev D reads these letters, she goes back to that space. And oh my God, you get to feel it. And the first book is your Sacred Yes, the Sacred Yes, and this volume 2 is Your Deepest Intent.
So which section are you on?
Number 6, Be Bold, Dare to Believe, page 129.
Mm-hmm. So it's the whole section 6 that you wanted to read?
Correct. Yes.
Mm-hmm. It says the promise of your possibility is that there is a way for you to experience the all that you are. You could be in a coma and still experience the fullness of your life. Set your sights higher, my children. Dare to believe that you can experience things that you have never experienced before. Dare to put your name in the great I am. Dare to put every spiritual quality that you can think of right after your name as the great I am. Dare to believe. Dare. Why do I use the word dare? You human beings think that to stretch to higher possibilities is a risk. Risk holds for you the idea that perhaps it may not happen. What's worse, you associate risk with loss, as though if you dared to stretch in your possibility, something awful, negative, or bad could happen. Sometimes the negative you fear is just your projected sense of embarrassment in front of everyone else who, like you, is waiting for a manifestation of your possibility in a form that conforms with all of your expectations. But the daring in my world has nothing to do with human judgment. The daring in my world has to do with the spiritual concept of proving. Once again, let us not confuse your human terminology with my spiritual intent. From a scriptural standpoint, to be proven is to have your most essential qualities revealed. The revelation comes through some sort of test. However, the test is never to make you fail. The test is so that you may demonstrate what you know. It's an opportunity for you to graduate, progress, claim your increasing human capacity to be your full spiritual self. So the daring here is allowing yourself to step out. The daring here is allowing yourself to stretch so that you can prove to yourself how wonderful you are. So you can prove to yourself how resilient your soul is. How you can rise above the stuff of this world. Now is the appointed time. If I were to say it succinctly, It would be in the spirit definition of possibility. Got this definition being created, this dictionary. So these are not published. But the definitions always are the same way. As it was saying, dare to put the spiritual qualities on the other end of your great I am. Because what you're looking for, what you're looking with, you are the love you seek. You are the power you seek. You are it already. So you already are it, but we just don't experience it. So these definitions tell us how to experience the spiritual qualities as our very being. It's always the same formula. There's something we bring to the table that meets up with something that spirit already has here. And then it tells us what that link is. What is the action that we need to do? What is it that we need to do in order to experience that spiritual quality as the embodiment of who we are? So it describes and defines possibility as this. It's always a where. It's not an event. It's not a specific thing that happens in a specific moment in time. It's a convergence of energy. The energy we bring that meets the energy that's already here. And what is that? It defines possibility as this. It says possibility is where your perception grasps my limitless capacity. Possibility is where your perception, that's what we have to bring to the table, is our perceptions. And I'll say that more about that in a moment. And what God already has here is limited capacity. But the reason why we don't know that there's limited capacity is because our perception isn't grasping it. To grasp it, not to make something happen, not even to do more, but to expand to expand your perception. And that's where the daring comes from. Okay. The daring is about allowing yourself to grasp more than just what you see. To tap into that limitless capacity. Because that's where we live. I want everybody to get that. Your perception is your narrative. Your perception is not just the physicality of what you see, but your interpretation of what you see. That's what perception is. How you name it, the meaning that you infuse into it, how much you define it as good or bad, or how much you allow it to define who you are. Those are perceptions. That's what changes. That's how you change your experience. You have control of your experience. You don't have control over everything that happens. But what you do have control over is your perception of it. See? And when you allow your perception to grasp that there's more that's going on here than what meets the eye. There's more than going on here just than what I can see or even what my own expectations are. That's one of our biggest malpractices. We limit the great I am with our expectations. But your expectations are built upon what you already know. So you have already limited your past. You already limited your future by making the past the precedent. Then you can't go beyond anything that's ever happened. But there's always the next. There's always the next. There's always some new way it can be done. I don't care what it is. It could be from baking a cake to shooting a basketball. There's always some new, something. Each of us brings something to the table.
Yes.
Nobody will dance just the way that you dance.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody will string the words together just the way you string the words together. Nobody will laugh and smile just like you do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm thinking of it's coming up for me, so clearly that's what we need to talk about. We talked about there, I don't know, a few months ago. It was something, a show that we did, something about a new something about a new vision for humanity or something like that. And you broke down new to me, to us, in a way that I've never heard it. I was like, wait a minute. But yeah, it was so simple. It was this distinction between Neil thinking of something that's yet to happen, but the news already. Okay, let me be quiet. Can you just talk about Neil and a powerful distinction that sometimes we wait for new to happen while it's already happening?
Yes. So I think I remember the conversation that you're talking about, but I'm going to come at it from a different angle this time. We have transformation when there's revolution in our evolution. Okay. We have transformation when there's revolution in our evolution. When something evolves, it moves into a continuous unfolding. But the evolving doesn't necessarily mean that it's transformed. You can just have newer and greater versions, like we're seeing with the insurrections in the United States. Mm-hmm. It's evolved, but it ain't transformed. Mm-hmm. Because there hasn't been a revolution. When you have a revolution, you change what you revolve around. The center shifts. The center changes. I had an extraordinary opportunity as a sophomore at USC, a 17-year-old sophomore at University of Southern California, to actually be in the political science honors program for college seniors. So I'm in with all these people who are older than I am, and for a year we are studying revolutions. It was one of the most fascinating experiences of my life. And if any of you have been in any of these kinds of programs, what you really are is free labor for the professors who are going to write about what you've studied.
Research partners, they ain't getting paid.
Yeah, unpaid research partners. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I've appreciated about revolutions is that although we think of them as moving forward, every revolution that I can name has a sense of trying to reclaim what was more natural before. Mm-hmm. So think about it. To move forward, most of the time we're trying to get back. Mm-hmm. We're trying to reclaim the freedom that was naturally ours. We're trying to reclaim the authenticity. So if you have a artistic revolution, they're trying to throw off the armor and the clunkiness. Like you have a jazz improvisational revolution that comes along that wants to break off from the constraints of classical. Okay. That every revolution, interestingly enough, is trying to get you back. Back to the more natural, back to the beginning, back before the colonization, back before the supremacy, back before all of the isms and the oppressions and everything else, to a more like organic something. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
So how this relates to what you're talking about is that too often when people are daring to believe, they think that they're having to conjure up something that's never been.
Mm.
And how can this be? But what I'm here to say is that everything that you can possibly dream up already has been. It already has been.
Mm.
We've just gotten away from it.
Mm.
The freedom that most of us seek, the justice, the gender equality, it already has been. We've just gotten away from it. The environmental sustainability that we're searching for, it's already been. We've just put too much stuff on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it says in the Tao Te Ching, that every day in the pursuit of knowledge, something is added.
Mm-hmm.
Every day in the practice of the Tao and the presence of God, every day something is dropped. It's dropped. I was deeply moved by Bobby Kennedy Jr.'s. Some people see things as they have been and ask why. Some people see things that have never been and asked why not. But as I grew into that as a kid, when I would ask myself these questions of the why not, the answer that my inner spirit voices would say is because it actually already has been. It already has been. We may not have had all the technologies to back it all up. But even the healing stuff that we're doing, we have powers. We have powers to astral project. We've got powers to do stuff that will boggle the mind. We could heal our own selves.
Mm-hmm.
They've proven that just with placebos.
Yes. Yes.
Even the scientists now will say that at least a third of all healings
Happens in the mind.
just happens in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
We think too small. We think too small. And the sad part about it is that's, what's the word I'm going to use? That's deliberate.
Mm.
The smallness of our thinking is deliberate. That's why I always say we have to decolonize our minds. We have been deliberately dummied down.
Yes.
We have been deliberately made to not stand in our spiritual power.
Mm-hmm.
Not only to not stand in it, but to denigrate it.
Mm-hmm.
To think badly of it. To only value the man-made, controlled stuff of the hierarchy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we're just pawns in that machinery.
Yes.
And it's like, no. Each of us has an indigenous soul.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't care what your background is. Everybody has an indigenous soul. And I want to make it really plain. When I talk about the decolonization, I'm not just talking about like demonizing any one group or whatever. to get to this place, everybody was a part of it. I don't care what it is. You can talk about the transatlantic slave trade. That was Africans selling Africans into slavery. You know, white people just couldn't come across the world. They weren't just the Spike Kunta Kinte in Roots. That ain't what was going down. People weren't just walking into the jungle picking up people like monkeys. You know, these are the French kept really good records where they could even tell you what the skill sets were of each of the people. They knew exactly who they were bringing and what they could contribute and what they could offer. And it's our job now to dare to imagine, to not let our sights be so low as to not be able to move beyond what it is that we've seen with our physical eyes. And what do you have to lose, really? What do you have to lose by daring? Looking stupid? Looking foolish? Is that what keeps us too afraid to be disappointed?
Right.
What is it? I just heard a few days ago. I don't even remember where I heard it, but it was just so profound. It was on some television show or something. And the line was this. It was somebody who was freaking out about their life and dying and moving forward and whatnot. And the other person just looked at him and said, yes, one day you're going to die. But all the other days, you're not.
You're going to be alive. Yeah.
But can you get what I'm saying? It's like this eventuality about this one day that is inevitable. But all the other days, you're not. It's as though we fear that we're going to die if we take a risk. Everything is, no, you're going to die one day, but all those other days, you're really not going to die.
So you might as well live before the time you die.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly. I don't know what gives us a thirst for living. I just know I have it. And I've always had it. I don't know where that comes from, but I love life. I love it. Some people fear life, or they're trying to hedge against life. I love life. I love being alive. I love God. I love the mystery of it all and the full participation in it. And once I really got that it's a journey, that it's not a destination, it's a journey. And that's it. That's it. That there's no place to get to. You go from point A to point B, and that's just your new point A. Why not enjoy it? And that's just. Life loves you.
Yes. It's not a problem to solve.
Life loves you. I want everybody to really hear that. Life wants to be itself as you.
Hmm.
Love wants to love, not only through you, but as you. Music wants to pour through you as you. Life just wants places and spaces that it can express through.
Mhm.
And it will do as much as you allow it to do. It doesn't tell you no. We tell life no.
Life always says yes.
Life always says yes.
Mhm.
Like, I don't care what it is. I don't care what you've done, what you haven't done. Life doesn't go, oh, no, you ain't gonna try to come up and sing now. No.
You too old.
Where you been? Where you been? You know,
Yes.
life then go, oh no, you can't start thinking something new now. No.
Yes.
Whenever you're ready, life
Right,
just says, okay,
let's
let's do
go.
this thing.
I've been waiting.
I've been
Yeah.
waiting. Life isn't
Yes.
life doesn't hold any grudges against you. It's not going to tell you no. It's not going to hold you back. It's not going to get in your way. It just says, okay.
I'm laughing, Rev D, because I'm thinking, don't mess around and say yes to life, and life says, come on. And then halfway through the journey, you're like, no. It's messy.
But
You better
that's what we
keep,
do.
yes. And
We
bruised
do
and
that.
battered.
We do that all the time. What I often tell people is that the baby is crowning.
Mm-hmm.
You can't push it back in.
Mm-hmm. Baby's coming
It
out.
don't care.
Mhm.
It doesn't care. And I really want everybody to hear me about that analogy because you're all of it.
Yes.
You're the mother, you're the baby, you're the midwife, and that urgency. See, a baby don't care. When it's time for the baby to be birthed, it don't care where you are, what's going on in your life, if it's convenient, if it's not convenient, whether it's hard or not, it has to come. Just
coming.
remember that. No, really, just I want everybody to just remember that. Okay, because a lot of times we get angry at the stuff birthing in our lives, or we get angry at the stuff birthing in other people's lives because it seems so convenient, inconvenient, and disruptive. But sometimes it's just the urgency of the moment. And if we, like we do with human birth, balance the two, we balance the pain and the infliction that's being caused upon the mother with the needs of this baby that's coming forth. And then when the mama's holding the baby, you could be mad at the baby about all the pain you caused me and the suffering for the last 9 months. No, I'm serious. Or you could hold the baby.
Yes. Yes.
Can you listen to what I'm saying? Because this is what's happening everywhere, social, politically, all of it, all over the place. It is something's trying to birth through, and it's a mother of a labor that we're in.
What the mother father God is going on here?
It is a mother of a labor.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, but we're in it.
We're in it. We got to breathe and push.
Breathe and push.
So, Rev D, I want to ask you a question. We got 4 minutes, and I know the answer to this question is not even going to happen. Can you stay a little longer to answer the question? Well, there's two questions, but I actually want Muhammad said, "One day life is gone?" Question mark, because he had asked that. Can I ask a question? Life is not easy. Well, explain what you say. Are you asking if life is gone? You got to explain. Say more about that. Life is not easy. Well, I think you can answer that. But okay, the question I want to ask Rev D is: when you talk about what we're going through, this pandemic, and then the whole thing, this is one of those emotionally charged issues. And I remember speaking to something like this, just in a conversation, and I was told by a friend, "Oh no, we don't want to bring that conversation up." I'm like, why is it such a big deal? But is this conversation about vaccination, those who are vaccinated and those who are not? I'm not asking you whether for or against, but how do we dare to believe a new way where in a way I feel like people have become pawns really to fight the fight of leaders, and family members are going after each other, and people are not talking, and blaming one another for what's going on in the world. What do you have to say about this emotionally charged issue to bring us to a place where we can believe in something new, something more, and really live in possibility consciousness?
I think that it's a really big issue. And I think that COVID-19 and the way that it's playing out is endemic of something that's even bigger, that relates back to what I was saying before about perception.
Mm-hmm.
About perception. And I don't know what the answer is. I honestly don't know, because we're in unprecedented territory right now in terms of the amount of information, misinformation, and disinformation
Yes.
that we all have going out simultaneously. And it's a real issue. There's no question about that. But what I do know for certain is that conflict doesn't come from differences of opinion. That conflict comes from polarization, from the othering. And that's our biggest danger.
Yes.
Our biggest danger isn't that we don't agree on facts. Our biggest danger is that we divide from one another based upon differing opinions of facts. The villainization is the problem. The othering is the problem. And that's where each of us has a role that we can play. What's in your heart? Your heart, not the other people's heart.
Right.
But your heart. Jesus said, love your neighbor, but he also said, love your enemy.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to remember that one.
Yeah.
No, I'm really sick. We're in the battle that I see it is around energy and the energy of love. Either the love of power or the power of love. Which one are we standing in?
Yes.
Like right now. So what I would ask everybody that's listening now is cultivate the soil of your own consciousness, because we can't find the answer to the question that you're raising where we are. We can't see the answer from this purview.
Yes.
We're going to have to go up to a more transcendent space to be able to see it. The kaleidoscopic twist of awareness. And I invite everybody up to that journey, because somebody somewhere has to believe. Somebody somewhere has to. And I'm willing to stand there, and I'm willing to invite other people to stand there with me. One God, one power, one planet,
Yes,
one people, one. With all of its various varieties of expression, but one. Where you or me and I am you, whether I like you or not. One.
Yeah. And that's the work. We think asking somebody else or telling somebody else to change is the answer, but it's me changing. changing. And then when I focus on doing the change, I'm like, woo,
Yes.
this is a lot of work. No wonder they're not doing it.
Can I love you where you are?
Yes.
That doesn't mean that I want you to stay there.
Yes.
But can I love you there? Or will I not love you till you meet my expectation? How many conditions am I going to put on my love? That's really where we are.
Yes.
It reminds me of, this may seem like a strange thing to say, but it was just this eye-opener. So, guys, this had to be a long time ago. This had to be like almost 20 years ago now. So this was around the time of what was my parents' 55-year anniversary. And my parents always just so most of the time I just would try to like, hey, whatever, you know, y'all been together. I've been with you 18 years. Y'all been together 55. You know, you'll work it out.
Yeah.
So whatever it was, it got on my nerves so much that I started fussing with my dad. And I said, give it a rest. Will you give it a rest? She's not going to change. Okay, she's not going to change. I said, y'all been doing this 55 years. Let it go. Just let it go, let it go, let it go. And he looked at me shocked. And he said, I'm not trying to change your mother. And I said, what? What do you mean you're not trying to, like, what are you doing? And this is what he said to me. He said, I'm not trying to change your mother. He said, I just think there's a moral victory in not being changed. And it was like,
yeah, I'm letting that kind of like
I missed it. For 40 some years, I missed it. I've been thinking you two were trying to change each other. But what you've been doing is trying not to change. You've been trying not to be changed by the other. You weren't trying to change the other. You wanted to make sure the other one didn't change you. Do you feel me?
Yes.
And that's where we are.
Mm. Mm.
That's where we are. In this deep divisive stuff, we don't even actually believe that the other one can change. And there's no expectation of that.
Right.
We're just trying to make sure that we're other. We just want to make sure we don't get your cooties. And you stay over there and we'll stay over here. And you're not going to change us.
Yeah.
And that's what most of it is.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been to that all you can eat that buffet again. And I've been eating everything that I wanted more. I want more. And then you put this dish in, and I was like, wait a minute, what's this? Like, keep eating. Like, okay, I don't want anything else. Let me just chew on this for a minute. Oh my God. So we're seeking moral victory. Not wanting to change and knowing somebody's not going to change. And we're not even looking for them to change.
It's our self-righteousness. It's our self-importance, our judgment. We're right. We're the best. We're never going to be like them. And, we put them down and it keeps making us live. What's wrong with them? And we're over here and I don't want nothing to do with you. And I'll unfriend you and befriend you. And I'm busy trying to make sure nobody mistakes me for you.
You're right. Right. Right.
See, because we confuse oneness with sameness. So I ain't even so sure. It's like that Wilhelmina, peace of mind. What if I don't want to be one with them? Wilhelmina is my alter ego for my spoken word. She got a beautiful piece about that.
Mm-hmm.
You do your inner work.
Yes.
You do your inner work. Because all it takes is for somebody to shift the energy. It's like we're doing this dance, this tango dance. And everybody's doing it to each other. But cut it. It's like a force isn't a force until it's up against something.
Yes.
Instead of doing this, we need to do the Aikido. You use the strength back.
Move.
Yeah, you move with it. You roll. You move with it, and you're pliable. It doesn't. It's like the palm tree that sways in it, and it doesn't knock over because it's not all rigid. I'll quit feeding.
Well, we have a choice to move from the table.
I'm done.
But you know what? As you say you quick feeding, my eyes is looking at something else over there. It's like, what is that over there? And I'm thinking of that conversation. We can talk about it another time, but I'm really, and I don't know if you have time, but I think I want to taste that other dish. So it's this conversation about, you remember when during the 9/11 and you were doing a training and there was a guy who just thought, no, I do not see your point of view. And, I'm kind of full. I would like a dessert if you end with that to kind of emphasize this point. And I think sometimes, I don't even know. I don't have to sell this, because what I know for as long as I've known you, you've shared personal stories that back up this spiritual truth and principles. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. But I think it's that place where nobody's trying to change. And then one person changed, dared to believe, and transformation happened. I think I think that's a dish. Dessert. Can you give us some dessert, please, before you leave?
I think you're talking about this corporate training that I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
This was probably around 2003 or something like that, because 9/11 happened around 2001.
Yeah.
So I was doing this corporate training. Actually, I was at a Hewlett Packard site. I did a lot of work with them, diversity training. I'm a professional diversity consultant.
Right. Yeah.
So Hewlett Packard at the time had developed some really progressive stances on uh, same-sex relationships,
Mm-hmm.
domestic partnership benefits, and like those kinds of things, non-discrimination clauses. If I'm not mistaken, this was actually in Colorado, and Colorado was one of the first hotbeds in terms of the marriage equality issues and all of the rest of that. So this was part of a larger training. So when it came to this particular section and trying to make sure that all the managers understood what was expected of them as managers and all of the rest of that, this one guy was becoming increasingly agitated. And I could feel myself resisting him. And I know there are at least two sides to every story, and then there's the truth.
Right.
So when I found myself othering, I just stopped and I gave him the mic. And I admit I was irritated, but I just said, you know what? There's something you're trying to say. Say it. I was probably a little sarcastic when I did it. But it was like, here, what are you trying to say?
Because you knew you were going to take him down.
Just whatever. Okay? Because I believe in leveling the playing field.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the mic. I'm the facilitator. I'm going to give you the mic. So he said what he said, and I listened very intently, and I got it. And I repeated back to him. I said, let me repeat back to you what I think I just heard. I said, what I think I just heard you say is that you have no intention of doing anything discriminatory against anybody that's gay. You never stand in the way of their career or stop their promotion or, make life hard for them, or you don't have like something personal against gay people. I said, you, because of your religious beliefs, really believe that marriage is between a man and a woman. And you are against anything that would elevate anything up to even kind of sort of near a status of marriage that involves two people of the same sex, because you think that's against your religion, and you don't want to be considered anti-diversity just because you can't get behind this aspect of corporate policy. And he was just so relieved. He just was like, yes, that's what I'm saying. I don't want anybody to think I'm anti-diversity because this is, these are my beliefs. I said, I got it. And then I said, there's no amount of training in the world that can make me believe that what we've been doing in Iraq with shock and awe, just bombing them day after day for weeks, when they didn't even have anything to do with 9/11, that's all right. There's not anybody can tell me. I said, I'm not anti-military. I'm not going to do anything against the military. I don't discriminate against the military. I said, but I don't want to be considered less patriotic just because I can't support all of my country's foreign policy. That doesn't make me less patriotic. And you could tell something clicked. Without him saying it, I could see he was real pro shock and awe. You know, it was this kind of light bulb went off in me and light bulb went off in him. But here's the point that I will never forget, because it's never happened before or since in a corporate training. We gravitated towards each other and we hugged each other and we both started to cry. In front of everybody. The polarization ended. Did he change his mind? No. Did I change my mind? No. Not in our opinions about the subjects. But we changed our mind and our opinion about each other.
Yes. Heart met, heart to heart.
Heart literally met, heart to heart.
Yes.
And the tension broke. You could feel, and of course that moved everybody.
Yes.
There was a new place of oneness in the room. A new place of oneness. Because we opened up to hear each other.
Yes.
To understand each other and to not other the other because we didn't agree.
Yes. 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 And the key thing you said, you listened intently. That for me, that's like the daring to believe that there is more.
Yes.
To surrender.
And with the intention of the listening is, how am I you? And how are you me? Not just agreeing to disagree.
Right. Right.
But how are you me? And how am I you? And if you would do that with everybody, from your kids to your coworkers to even the political figures. You know, I remember the first time I ever did that. This was years ago when Clinton was being impeached over the Monica Lewinsky stuff. I was still in the classes then, and Ken Starr was the prosecutor. Made me crazy. He just made me crazy. And I prayed that prayer, and I never forget the answer I got. The answer I got was, before I became a minister, I actually thought growing up that I was going to be a lawyer, even through college. I'd taken the law school exam. I was going to be a civil rights attorney. So when I thought about it, and I thought, you know what? Because he had an unlimited budget. I said, if there was a point in time in my life, if I had had an unlimited budget and I could investigate the sex life of all my enemies and, and expose all of their dirty laundry and all of their hypocrisy, I'd have probably done it.
Like, just like that.
The how am I you and how are you me isn't always necessarily about the good stuff. You may be mirroring my shadow side.
Right.
Too. But I thought about that. I thought, I could have been a Ken Starr at some point in my life if I hadn't developed the heart space.
Yeah.
It's not pretty. I never liked that answer. Whenever I ask how am you, how am I you, and how are you me, most of the time the answer sucks.
Can I use my spiritual bypass card right now?
It sucks, but
yes, yes.
it gets
It
me
is
over
what
the,
it is.
it gets me over the it gets me off my high horse.
Oh, thank you, FD. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
staying longer. Thank you for who you're being in the world. Thank you for who you are in your consciousness. I am eternally grateful for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Can I do
Anything you want to?
a plug? Yeah.
Of course, of course. I mean,
So,
yes.
So we're starting our 25-year anniversary celebration, even as we are moving out from this particular center. And I want to invite everybody to join us. We're having a virtual concert. It's the final blowout thing that we're doing here at our center. It's going to be on January the 29th. It's at 3 p.m. on Pacific time, which gives everybody, regardless of your time zone, an opportunity to participate.
Right.
It's going to be featuring Karen Drucker, Jamie Lula, Gary Lynn Floyd, some of our favorite composers and singers. We do a lot of their music. It's virtual and in person. So regardless of where you are, you're able to participate. And we would really like to see all of you there. I'm going to MC. And that next day on January the 30th is our closeout. So if you are anywhere in the Santa Cruz area, come on by. We're going to do some closing rituals. They're going to stay overnight as well. If COVID allows, we'll have a potluck and break bread. But for sure, it's going to be our final bash weekend here. The last weekend in January of 2022. All new in 2022.
Oh, I like that. All new 2022. That's right.
Yeah.
You have some information on your website, right? Or
yes.
I got a newsletter from you yesterday. I'm gonna see because I definitely happy
it's
to
on.
hear that. Yeah. I love you, FD.
Love you too. Yeah, tickets are at Eventbrite.
Okay. Thank you very much. I definitely share
that. #ILM concert.
Okay. Yeah, always hashtag it. Thank you, FD. Is that everything? Anything else you want to plug? Because you can do it.
I'm good. I'm good. You know, just check us out because I'm going to be doing some classes and workshops coming up again.
Yes.
Yep. Actually, on the Sacred Yes, volume 1 of that series that you're talking about doing. The link should be up soon. I'm going to be starting it on January the 27th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you please make sure your social media people send it to me because I definitely want to share.
We'll do that.
Thank you, FD.
We'll do that. Take care.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you too. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Woo! Lord, talk about a buffet. I am so full. I am so grateful. Thank you. Thank you. We went we did an extra 30 minutes or something, but it was too good to just hang it up. Anyway, I love you. I bless you. I appreciate you. And I thank God for you. Sign up for my mailing list, lifecoachade.com. What else do I need to tell you? Go there to the products and services. You see the group coaching that I'm doing in February. The information is on there. I'm full. I'm ready to leave. And basically, as Rev D and as I say, in the inner light, take this consciousness and multiply it and truly, truly, truly be the change you want to see. I'm out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm looking for my closing. I can't find it. There it is.
Be who you are. Let your light shine. Wisdom